Hello everybody, Persian here. Just want to do another video on something else here. Well, how make homemade wine. Might be a handy little thing to know how to do in case it ever gets bad. You can still make a little alcohol for medicinal purposes, religious, or whatever you want to call it. It's not too bad, not too difficult. What you're looking at here is called a Mustang grape. I think some places call it muscadine grapes and different. You can see it's a real dark grape. Kind of tart, so it's not really a good eating grape, but they make great wine. And really good jelly. Right, pretty good. I like that. This will be an in-process video, so you'll finally see it when I hit the secondary fermenter. And what's good about these grapes is they really strong, so when you make a 5-gallon bucket of wine, there's enough left over in these grapes to make a second batch of 5 gallons. So in all, you can come up with 10 gallons of wine. The first batch will be very dark, the second batch will be much lighter, and you can either have it like that, or what I do is I blend both of them together, so I have an even color and consistency between both batches. I don't have to do it, but it's just something I do. But like I said, this is a good little trick to know how to make your own homemade wine. I'm not much of a wine drinker, but I do like my homemade wine. Now, I'm not trying to brag or nothing like that. I guess it kind of follows along the same way about your own homegrown tomatoes or eggs you get from your own chickens. It's just what you do always seems to taste much better than you can buy somewhere. Again, these are Mustang grapes. Supposed to be all over the country. There are different names depending on the parts of the country you get. And one thing I'm going to do, it's been about 4 years since I was able to last find grapes to pick due to the drought everywhere. When I can get an abundance of grapes, I'm going to pick all I can and throw what I need to in the freezer for the next batch. Don't want to go through the dry spell like I did in the last few years. Okay, got all the grapes going on here. I have to put them in the refrigerator in different bags until I got to be able to squash them. This should be enough for the 10-gallon batch I'm fixing to do. Here's what I'm doing. Put them in the colander. I rinse them off really good to get any kind of dust and whatever's been in the air on them, help rinse them off. Kind of go through them and stuff, see what to pull out. And here's the smash bucket, and a little bit wider, you can see more of the berries. And like right here, I'll pick out the green, any kind of leaves, the green grapes, and just the stuff for the trash I don't want in the wine. So just put just a little bit in here. We switch hands here, and a potato masher works best for this. Yeah, potato masher is still packed away somewhere, not where sure remember where I'll put it. So what I'm using is the Nestea Instant Tea Jar. Works just as good. And as everybody always teases, well, you're supposed to use your feet. Wash your feet. Like, no, I'm not using my feet and stuff. I don't want wine. I don't want toe jam wine and all that other stuff. So anyway, just kind of smash them up here. I don't really too hard because I really don't want to break all the seeds up or anything. Nothing that. Just enough to bust it open. Release that little grape like I showed you before. The little inside of it. And just give it a nice little squish everywhere. You can kind of see it's all been opened up and stuff. Let me get down in here a little bit better. She had a little better light. You can see how they kind of been all opened up and squished. Okay, so after that, come over here and I'm transferring it to the primary the first stage fermenter. It's about a 6.5 gallon bucket. Trust me, if you get this is kind of a beer making bucket. If you do some wine, see here's the 5 gallon line here, but you can see it's probably about a 6.5. I got this one at the wine shop. Yeah, you can get the 5 gallon food grade stuff. But look, do yourself a favor, especially if you're making a 5 gallon batch of wine, you need a bigger bucket than a 5 gallon bucket. The stuff will float up, and as you'll see in upcoming videos and stuff, you need that extra room in a bigger bucket, so do go with that. And you can also use this for home beer making if you ever get into beer. But do get that bigger bucket. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and finish squishing this here, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, I just added the yeast starter bottle to the mix here. And what I do is after adding the Camden tablets, which sterilizes it, kills any kind of wild bacteria off, I start a bottle of with water or yeast and a couple spoonfuls of sugar, and it gets the yeast woke up out of the dormant state, eating and reproducing and stuff. So this way when you add it to the wine, it goes to work instantly instead of having to go wake up out of its dormant cycle in there. So it's a much better way, faster way to get the fermentation process going. Looks pretty good. Got also stirred in half of the sugar. The recipe calls for 12.5 pounds of sugar for this 5 gallon batch. So I put in about half of it. Got it all stirred in and everything. So it should get going here fairly quick. And all the grape seeds, not the seeds, but the grape skins will actually start floating to the top and being pushed up by the carbon dioxide gas given off by the yeast. So you got to stir it up a couple times a day or so. Keep it all down at the bottom. And also what I'm going to do, since it's the middle of summer and pretty hot, 85 degrees and higher will kill off the yeast. So the bucket and the secondary fermenter will all be placed in a spare bathtub we got filled with water to help keep it cool and keep the temperature down to what the yeast will like. Alright, well, I'll show you another picture here of it once it's all fermenting, going on and stuff. Okay, everybody, here we're back at the next stage of everything. You can see the grape hole, the hulls again. The seed skins, everything is floated up to the top, and that's because of the carbon dioxide gas pushes everything up here. And today I'm going to be transferring from this primary container down to the secondary fermenter. And that's just an old glass jar. You should have mineral water in, a good old carboy. Now I want to put the camera real close and see if you can hear the hiss. You can see the carbon dioxide being released in the bubbles. Now, I don't know if you can, probably not coming through. I'm going to give this a good stir and everything. I got a net, kind of like a cheesecloth, that's going to help strain this out. And I'm going to transfer it into the glass carboy. Oh, if you guys could only smell this. Some people don't like fermenting grapes and stuff, others do. I'm the one who does. You can see that nice deep red to it, purple, whatever you want to call that color. Okay, I'm going to set aside and set up the next step. Be right back. Okay, here we go. We got the little net bag, or kind of like a cheesecloth type bag, which is going to help strain out all the big chunks and pieces out of it. We want mostly just the good old wine in this next part here. So I got that here in the bag. I got my siphoning tube down to the bucket we're going to go, no, not the bucket, the carboy it's going into. Now if you notice, I did put more sugar in here. The recipe calls for 12 pounds of sugar. I put about 8 pounds of sugar when I first started, and I put the rest of the 10-pound package of sugar in here. That's what you see in the bottom. And then when it comes time to give it a good, the first racking, when all the stuff starts settling down out of it, I'll add the final 2 pounds of sugar at that time and let that all ferment out. And then from that point up, I'll add a little bit more sugar to sweeten the taste. What I want to do is get the alcohol content as high as possible to kill off the yeast. And then I'll sweeten it up a little bit more from that to taste. Kind of shooting for a semi-sweet to lightly sweet wine. Yeah, I know it's red. A lot of people say that's supposed to be dry. Well, I like my wine just a tad sweet. And go from there. Hang tight and I'll get this flow going here. Okay, here we go. Got the flow going and everything. I kind of filled it up. Gave it a really good shake to help dissolve that sugar. And you see that color coming out. I'll do this here. An idea of that color. Again, I wish you guys could smell this. I really like the smell of it when it's fermenting and everything. Now, some of you guys probably got questions like the specific gravity of everything. I did this time get a hydrometer. It was like 0.20 if I remember right. Added the sugar, it was like 1.90. I kind of do it grandma's way. Kind of add the sugar half and half, or in three different parts on it. I really don't go completely by the recipe and don't do the hydrometer thing. Just kind of do it the way grandma does most of her cooking. Now you can follow that. That's good for you if you like to do it like that. I don't. I might get an alcohol hydrometer just to measure the final alcohol content of the wine when it's done. I might not. It's like supposed to be about 15%. And that's what the yeast is capable of sustaining before it gets too much alcohol and kills off the yeast. Now, when I was at the wine supply shop, they had one, I think it was like 22% that you can get. It was something, it was crazy. I might make a batch of that one day, but I didn't do it today. So that's going to be about it for now. I'll give you an update as it starts to clear out and all that other good stuff. Thanks for watching. Hope you like it. God bless you and the family. Okay, I just wanted to include this last bit before I post this on the tube there. Here it is. You can see I got the airlock on it. Got the neck of it. Got the airlock going on, and you can see that thing bubbling away. That yeast is making the carbon dioxide. And for the folks that don't know what's going on, the airlock keeps out the air and everything else you don't want getting in the wine, but yet lets the carbon dioxide escape. Let's see if you can see that. You can see it right when you add sugar and get it going again. You get a real aggressive yeast attack on this sugar. They're eating up the sugar, multiplying like rabbits, and having a grand old time. As you can see, it's coming up here. I'm not sure where the microphone is. Maybe I can get it real close and I'll shut up for a second and you might hear it even gurgle. I don't know if that did it or not, but oh well. As you can see, it's bubbling away. And then as the alcohol content goes up, the yeast comes down. This will actually slow down quite a bit. Might get a bubble or two in an hour. However, and I'll maybe remember that. I'll put that in the video then. But this is after what it looks like after getting it into the secondary fermenter. That's going to stay in here for a few good months. And even after it's finished, I might leave it in here to age a bit. That is if I don't get the hankering to start drinking it, since it's been a while since I had any. But there you go. You see it's even getting a little aggressive and it's starting to come back, push up bits of wine and particles up in there through the airlock. So this should slow down here shortly, within a day or two. Okay everybody, take care, God bless.